Hi there, welcome back. Still going through our shadow work, working through our latest series called The Beauty of Loving Your Ugly. Today we're going to talk about what your ugliness teaches you. Now, obviously the question is, why would you love your ugliness? Why are we even talking about ugliness? Because we live in a world where we only focus on the beauty. I'm wearing makeup right now, which are called beauty products. I took a shower this morning and I used beauty products in my shower routine. We are so obsessed with beauty and we avoid our ugly that when we need to take the time to actually look at our ugly and to see our ugly for what it is and to learn to see the beauty in our ugly and integrate those parts of ourselves with love, that is what we call shadow work. Now, today we're going to be discussing what your ugliness teaches you. Oftentimes, what you consider to be ugly is what you're taught to think is ugly, or what you have assessed through observing society and deciding that that is ugly. But what your ugliness teaches you, it teaches you a lot about your shame and what you are afraid of in life and what you tend to feel guilty about in your life and your world and your reality. For example, if you have been told that the color of your skin makes you ugly, you are probably highly ashamed of the color of your skin, or you're very ashamed of the color of your skin. You feel guilty for being the color that your skin is. Or if you were taught that your weight is ugly, you feel a lot of shame about your weight. You feel very guilty for being the weight that you are, and you feel very afraid of how other people will treat you based on your weight because you perceive your weight as being ugly, and perhaps other people as well perceive that aspect of you as being ugly. So that is exactly what the ugliness of us teaches us. It shows us where our shame lies, and oftentimes where we carry a lot of shame is where we limit ourselves in terms of how far we can go. So shame separates us from the wholeness, it separates us from love. And when you begin to love those parts of yourself that you feel ashamed of because you think they're ugly, you'll begin to love yourself more in truth, and you'll integrate more of yourself with love. So you may not have faith in yourself right now that you can accomplish your dreams or whatever you aspire to, because you carry a lot of shame about yourself and the things that you think are ugly and that you think the world will perceive as ugly about you. And maybe you're right. Maybe you do have qualities or aspects of you that are objectively considered to be ugly. But if you were to start looking at those parts of yourself with truth and love and start to see the beauty in those parts of yourself, you will become more integrated or more comfortable integrating those parts of yourself with that love, instead of seeing those parts of yourself with that shame and that guilt. So some things obviously need you to go and heal, because how you got to the point of shame can be very traumatic. You may have a lot of unprocessed emotions or blocked out memories when it comes to certain things that led you to that point of just assuming ugliness about you. The problem with that is that you then are afraid of people seeing you because you think that people will see the ugly in you. Or worse, you're afraid of people seeing you because you think that if people see you, they'll abuse you for not being ugly. Maybe you developed an ugliness out of fear that when you are beautiful, people want to take you down. People think you're arrogant or full of yourself. People want to humble you for thinking that you're better than them when you don't think that at all. And you also want to break from the projection. So then ugliness gives you that place to hide instead of actually elevating and standing up and shining. Your ugliness may be the fact that you're lazy, and your laziness shows you what you're afraid of. You may have a serious complex when it comes to being competent, because then we hold you accountable to your level of competence. Whereas when you're lazy, no one holds you accountable for anything because no one expects much of you. And so you get to not expect much of yourself. There's so much to be learned. when you learn to see your ugliness and to have the intention of seeing the beauty of the things about you that you consider to be ugly, and then to choose to meet those parts of you with love. And when you choose to learn from those things, so learning from your shame and what it says, and learning from your fear and what it says, and learning from that guilt, you can then integrate more love into yourself and show up more authentically as a more integrated version of you, which is the whole point of shadow work. Shadow work is not about condemning you or judging you for what you are, or even extinguishing whole aspects of yourself. Shadow work is about seeing yourself authentically, seeing yourself correctly, and then learning to integrate those parts of you into the whole of you. So not needing to only show up as the light aspects that are acceptable or have been accepted to be as you, but also being comfortable with showing up as a more integrated version of yourself that is more competent, more capable, and more able to show up correctly in your life to fulfill your soul's purpose in this lifetime.